Welcome, everyone. This is the Telarus Tuesday call for May 22nd, 2018. On this date, back in 1849, then future President Abraham Lincoln was granted a patent for an invention to lift boats, making him the only U.S. president to ever hold a patent. How about that? Something new right out of the chute. I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus, inviting you to please log into our video feed for all of today's exciting information and to submit questions and comments for our presenters, of which we have several today. Our featured speakers are Parker Smith and Jenny Detman from ADTRAN. Parker is ADTRAN's Director of Cloud Services Development. Jenny is ADTRAN's Director of Sales and Strategic Alignment. Both are here today to discuss ADTRAN's new hosted Square Key system offering, which is tailored for the lucrative SMB market. Hosted Square Key is a replacement solution for out-of-date legacy analog key systems. It's an amazing solution from ADTRAN. They'll have that and much more. You'll want to hear all about it. They're coming up in just minutes. We'll also introduce you today to count 'em two, brand new Telarus suppliers. First, we will welcome Office Depot, now offering business services through the indirect channel. Cassie Jepson will be here. She's the Director of Channel Enablement to explain how Telarus partners can take full advantage of this exciting and complementary addition to the Telarus portfolio of services. And then next, we'll welcome Global Gig, a global mobile virtual network operator offering global wireless connectivity across a 100-country footprint. Global Gig gets your clients hyper-connected while simplifying their enterprise communication services. Greg Rowe is Global Gig's Senior VP of Channel Sales, and he'll be here to introduce Global Gig. If you happen to miss our call last Tuesday, we were joined by RingCentral and their channel sales field trainer, Derek Resler. RingCentral explained why they're winning in the cloud and why that matters to your clients. We reviewed in detail the process by which Telarus partners can exponentially increase their revenue with RingCentral. Great training. Last week's Telarus Tuesday call is available for your review anytime in the Telarus Partner back office. We have some big upcoming events to talk about. Telarus is on a mission to come to you and arm you with the new skills, tools, and networking opportunities. We do that by hosting many fun and creative events all over the country. Here's the big one. Everybody is asking about it. Coming up this week, it's the big screen premiere of Solo, a Star Wars story. And Telarus wants to get you there first and say thank you for your support by inviting you and your family to join us for a special screening. We'll provide the movies, snacks, and beverages, and lots of giveaways from our suppliers as well. The fun begins this Thursday, May 24th. That is before the Friday public premiere. It happens Thursday in each of the following cities: Bellevue, Washington, Salt Lake City, Utah, Denver, Colorado, Houston, Texas, and Dallas, Texas. And the fun continues on Friday, May 25th in Austin, Texas. Register now to get your seats and join Telarus for Solo, a Star Wars story. Do that by going to telarus.com/events. And then next week in Texas, Telarus RVP Christina Curtis has planned three Telarus Contact Center boot camps. Exceptional training from Telarus VP of Contact Center, Ray Hicken, and our top contact center suppliers. We'll be in Houston on Wednesday, May 30th, Dallas on Thursday, May 31st, and Austin on Friday, June 1st. Contact Center is hot. See you in Texas for our boot camps. And now for the rest of this week's Telarus events, we've got a series of tremendous Telarus Tech Talk offerings. Today, Tuesday, we hope you'll join us in Irvine, California, this morning at 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Pacific time for Tech Talk with training from RapidScale. We're also in New York City this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time for Tech Talk with training from Alibaba. Two great events, one West Coast, one East. We hope to see many of you there. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, May 23rd, Telarus Tech Talk continues, this time in Santa Ana, California. We're there from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Pacific with training from TTX. On Thursday, May 24th, Telarus Tech Talk will be in Tukwila, Washington from noon until 1:30 p.m. Pacific for Contact Center as a Service training with Five9, Nice in Contact, Serenova, and TalkDesk. Also in Thursday, we'll be in Atlanta, Georgia for Tech Talk training on UCaaS, cloud, and backup from 11:30 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. Partners across the country are raving about the quality of information delivered in these short, fast-paced Tech Talk events. We hope you'll join us for one of these scheduled opportunities. Also want to give a shout out and thank you to everyone who joined us last week at the Telarus Innovation Conferences held in Boston and in Minneapolis. Great turnout, great training. Many more conferences scheduled for 2018. We pick up again in July after the upcoming Telarus Partner XCHANGE. Racing toward us in less than 1 month, Telarus Partner XCHANGE happens June 19th through the 22nd at the phenomenal Boca Raton Resort. This is Telarus' signature event happening for the first time on the East Coast with a record number of partners and suppliers attending. Our keynote speakers include the Iron Cowboy, James Lawrence, who in 2015 accomplished the unthinkable 50 Ironman distance triathlons in 50 days in each of the 50 United States. His story will inspire you. And also keynoting the event, Lisa Miller, CenturyLink President of Wholesale, Indirect Channels, and Alliances. She has 27 years of experience, including senior leadership roles across enterprise and alternate sales channels. Lisa will provide invaluable information and perspective on our industry, which will help grow your business. Add to all of that more than 50 educational sessions on every hot topic in the business. A record number of suppliers looking forward to spending one-on-one time strategizing with you. And amazing activities and events, all at one of the most beautiful beach settings in Florida. It's the Telarus Partner XCHANGE. You can register now to ensure your spot at Telarus.com/PX, and we can't wait to see you there. Well, it's time to introduce you to an organization that everyone knows, but perhaps you don't know that Office Depot has launched a successful indirect channel offering managed services right-sized for SMB customers. I'm very excited to welcome Office Depot's Director of Channel Enablement, Cassie Jepson, to our call. Cassie, this is something very new and exciting for our partners.
Yes, and we are excited to be here. So my name is Cassie. I'm the Director of Channel Enablement here at Office Depot, and we are here to change the channel. So we are excited to launch these managed IT services for SMBs. They are designed to provide enterprise-level services that have been right-sized for this space. Our service options, they range from system monitoring and security services all the way to full outsourced IT for SMBs. These services are designed specifically with the customer in mind. We want to provide them with the right service at the right time and for the right price. It's really easy to do business with us. We have very simplified services and processes here at Office Depot, and we have some channel account managers that are waiting to support the partners every step of the way. So join us tomorrow on the Wednesday call to learn more about adding Office Depot IT as a service to your partner portfolio and how we can help you to generate new revenue streams and accelerate growth. So we're super excited to have you guys tomorrow and answer any questions that you have.
Cassie, it's a pleasure to have you on the call. This is an exciting partnership for Telarus. It's a name that everyone knows, of course, but partners will really be able to capitalize on that in dealing with their clients and offer just a tremendous array of services from Office Depot. So the training is tomorrow morning, Wednesday the 23rd, 11 a.m. Eastern, and you'll need to check the Telarus Partner Back Office for the registration and the bridge information. We no longer host it on the exact same bridge that we do for this call because of the new platform. So be sure to check that. And Cassie, we'll look forward to that training tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for being on today's call. This is a great partnership.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
You bet. And next, we're happy to introduce a friend that many Telarus partners have known for some time. It's Greg Rowe. Greg is the Senior VP of Channel Sales at Global Gig, orchestrating hyperconnectivity for business using smart wireless and managed communications solutions, including mobility, data, voice, and IoT. Greg, it's a pleasure to have you on the Telarus Tuesday call. We're tremendously excited about this new partnership with Global Gig.
Doug, thank you very much. It's incredibly exciting to be working with Telarus again and working to launch Global Gig with Telarus. And so I loved your on this day, so I have another one for you. On this day,
Very good.
In 1761, the first life insurance policy was issued in Philadelphia. Right? So we can all be thankful for that. So it's incredibly exciting. And so Global Gig, you mentioned we are a global MVNO. And what does that mean? That means we are a global wireless service provider. And we provide that service ubiquitously across 200 countries. And, you know, when a lot of people hear wireless, they think of kind of three different types, right? There's fixed microwave type of wireless. There's certainly satellite, and then there's cellular wireless. We fall into the category of cellular wireless. So the services we are providing are all built around that. They are all data. You can think of it as internet. We are effectively an internet provider, providing that over the 5G, 4G, and also 3G network infrastructures of the incumbent mobile network operators in the countries in which we provide our service. So, for example, here in the US, we utilize interchangeably and blend across both AT&T and Verizon's mobile network. The applications are many. The most common and most prevalent in today's world are related to SD-WAN, actually. SD-WAN is something that's incredibly hot for so many enterprises out there and so many partners. Telarus does a great job with SD-WAN, and putting in a wireless connection with each SD-WAN node can be an incredible way to add value to a partner's customer. It gives the customer business resiliency and continuity that they don't have otherwise, even with two terrestrial or wired circuits, if you will. So on Thursday at 9 a.m. Mountain on our launch call, I'll go over in detail use cases and how to sell effectively into those types of use cases. And very excited again to be part of the Telarus community.
Well, we appreciate you joining the call this morning, Greg, and it's great to be working with you again. I always appreciate the support that you provide to Telarus, and this partnership with Global Gig is very exciting. It's an area of the business, of course, that's growing tremendously, and this will be fantastic for our partners to be able to offer this sort of hyperconnectivity, I love the word, for their business and enterprise clients. Again, the training for Global Gig Thursday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain, as Greg mentioned. Again, check the Telarus Partner Back Office for the exact registration and bridge information. We look forward to having all of our partners join on Thursday. Thanks, Greg, for being here today.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, now we take a quick peek at this week's training calendar for excellent opportunities being featured on today's call as Telarus and our suppliers help build your business with valuable information you need to know. The first two are the new supplier launch and training calls just discussed. Again, Office Depot presents their initial training call for Telarus partners on Wednesday. And Global Gig presents their initial training call, again, exclusively for Telarus partners, this Thursday. Each call begins at 11 a.m. Eastern, and there is a unique bridge number for each. So please check the Telarus Partner Back Office for details. Don't miss these exciting two new supplier training calls, Office Depot on Wednesday, Global Gig on Thursday. And then also Thursday, beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern, plan to join Evolve IP for valuable training on how to drive more leads using the Evolve IP Partner Portal. Evolve IP has been creating unique content for partners and prospects for more than a decade, and now the best of the best content is available to partners for use in generating new cloud leads from your existing customers and prospects, the very best source of new leads. This special training discusses creation, personalization, co-branding, and distribution of campaigns and collateral. Use the Evolve IP portal. You'll find out how at this special Thursday training. And finally, on Thursday, beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern, AirSpring will present special training on its Air PBX products that now integrate with more than 100 different CRM applications, including Salesforce, Microsoft CRM, and many others. This training features an in-depth demo of Air PBX and the advanced features, including universal click-to-dial, advanced screen pop, and of course, the CRM integration, all of which will tremendously benefit your clients. Air PBX training from AirSpring, it happens Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. The details and registration links for these and for many other live and recorded learning opportunities are all in your Telarus Partner Back Office at agent.telarus.com. And of course, Telarus always provides our partners with live help as well from Telarus engineers, project managers, account managers, and simply the best support in the industry. Let us help. Telarus is built for you. Well, each week we pass along some of the best available spiffs offered to Telarus partners for sales of popular products and services from our suppliers. This week's featured offerings include, first, from Nextiva. It's the May 3.0 spiff, which offers a spiff of up to, you guessed it, 3x MRR. Here's how it works. Every deal, $195 MRC or greater on a 2-year term, earns a 1x MRC spiff. A 3-year term earns a 1.5x MRC. But deals $500 or greater MRC earn a 1.5x MRC on a 2-year term and a 2x MRC on a 3-year term. So to sweeten the deal, if you add analytics, you'll earn an extra 0.5x MRC, and if you add phone rentals, there's another extra 0.5x MRC. That is up to 3x MRC spiffs available, all from Nextiva. It's only good through May, so good selling from Nextiva. And next, 8x8 has a fantastic Spring 2018 spiff, which allows you to stack multiple promos and earn up to 2.5x MRR. You start with a 1.5x MRR spiff on all virtual office or virtual contact center deals. No minimum. And add to that an extra 0.5 MRR for all 8x8 Ariaka deals and another 0.5 MRR for all VCC, VO, X8 combo deals. New customers only, a 36-month term is required, but you can stack those promos and earn up to 2.5x MRR, all from 8x8. And then finally, from BroadVoice, one of our newer Telarus suppliers, an outstanding spiff and promotion offer featuring a 5x MRR spiff on 36-month new customer sales of seats, contact center, and premium services. 5x MRR. Or choose a Polycom VVX 411 and get a 1x MRR spiff. There's also a 2x MRR spiff available on SIP trunking business solutions. Terrific opportunities to make big money, all from BroadVoice. Some fantastic deals from our suppliers, and there are many more. You can check them all out at promo.telarus.com. Well, as I mentioned earlier, today we are very happy to welcome ADTRAN to the Telarus Tuesday call. ADTRAN is a global provider of networking and communications equipment, enabling voice, data, video, and internet across a variety of network infrastructures. ADTRAN is using broadband to transform communities and advance the gigabit society. Today we'll learn about the ADTRAN ProCloud portfolio of unified communications services, including the ProCloud hosted Square Key offering. Jenny and Parker, welcome to our Telarus Tuesday call.
Thank you so much, Doug, for having us, and good morning to everybody that can still hear us on audio. It sounds like there might be a little issue, so if you can hear me, then you don't have an issue, but it sounds like those dialed in may need to drop and try back. But anyway, I'm Jenny Detman with ADTRAN, and we are thrilled to be here talking to Telarus's partner community today. We are new to the Telarus relationship. This is our first year with Telarus, but ADTRAN as a company has been around for over 30 years. If you can go to the next slide, we are traditionally known for our work in the carrier space as well as enterprise networking. But in the last 18 months, we've expanded our cloud services offering to include a whole new portfolio of solutions, and that's what we're here to talk to you about today. So on the next slide here, I'll show you our new website that we've launched that really focuses around subscription services and is tailored programs for MSPs and agents. And we have 4 pillars to that. We have our hardware as a service, that's ADTRAN's networking equipment, the unified communication solution that Parker's going to get to in depth here in a minute, our cloud security offering, as well as analytics. And altogether, our goal is to simplify selling to the SMB for our partners. And we look forward to getting to know you a little bit more and sharing a little bit more about our UC offering. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Parker, who's going to walk you through ProCloud UC, as well as our hosted Square Key, a new offering that we're bringing to market.
Great, thank you, Jenny. If we can go ahead and advance slides. ProCloud UC is a comprehensive UC portfolio that is offered by ADTRAN, and it's provided by the strength and longevity of ADTRAN, but backed by BroadSoft. And for all the different UC platforms that you have available today, you're probably asking yourself, what's different about this one? Well, the first thing that's different is we have all of the BroadSoft features, primarily the UC1 feature set. Many of the providers that are offering a BroadSoft-based solution today don't necessarily offer all of the functions, and we have the benefit of having every single function. Starting with, of course, the HD voice and video, we have an integrated instant messaging and presence, we have screen collaboration. Every premium user gets a virtual room with their own virtual conference room for up to 30 participants, including 15 of those can be video, and you can use the service on any device. Next slide, please. So those devices not only include desk phones, but the beauty of it is you don't necessarily need a desk phone to have your service with ProCloud UC. Of course, the phones are complemented by a native application, all for mobile, tablet, and desktop applications, and these are more than just cell phones. This is a true integrated application that provides instant messaging and presence, and for the desktop applications, it adds the functionality of collaboration through the My Room feature. Again, you get presence, instant messaging, file sharing, and much more, including a feature called Hub. Hub is a micro app integration that integrates with cloud-based services like Gmail and Office 365, and it displays contextual data based on the contact that you're either talking with or chatting with, such as recent emails, calendar invites, or files that you have shared between each other, all at your view right there in front of your screen. Next slide. Our UC offering comes in 3 flavors. There's a basic, standard, and premium offering. And the basic is essentially a standard UC line with voicemail and voicemail to email functionality. The standard line is the same feature set as the basic, except it adds the mobility feature set. So the mobility apps run on iPhone, Android, both phones and tablets, and desktop computers from Microsoft and Macintosh operating systems. And then last is Premium, and this is our full featured solution. Premium adds all of that plus the collaboration, screen sharing functionality, the ability to actually deliver your screen out to non-UC users using a standard WebRTC based browser. So the beauty of it is there's no software to download. You simply log into Google Chrome, for example, and the user is not only able to see your screen, but the users can also share back their screens, even though they're not a ProCloud UC user and just a viewer on the internet. Next slide. Now, ADTRAN brings a unique offering to this portfolio. So we're not just hosted UC, we also have focused on the legacy hosted Square key system market. So we all know, we all have seen these systems. Many of you, I'm sure, have sold these throughout the years. At this point, they're all outdated, and most of them are all discontinued. And many of the customers that are using the systems are struggling to keep the systems working, keep them alive. They're buying used parts off the internet and so on to keep those systems running. They're typically fed by expensive traditional analog phones, or they may be providing service may be provided over a SIP trunk through possibly an ADTRAN gateway, or cheaper analog gateways that don't have the quality to support that traditional analog experience from the legacy phone companies. The phones are typically basic, they're very feature minimal systems, and most of these systems had a maintenance contract that is most likely expired at this point, and the customers are looking for an alternative. Next slide. So why do customers love these key systems? Well, first of all, they're easy to use. They're the simplest to use out of all the systems. All of the phones have the call appearances of the PSTN lines, both for incoming and outgoing phone calls. And you can simply take those calls on any of the line keys. You may have lines 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the phones throughout the system. And if a user takes a call on line 1, they can press the hold button, put the call on hold, and they can page and let someone know that they have a call holding on line 1, 2, 3, or 4, etc. And basically, the phones are, simple, easy, basic to use. There's not a lot of features on them, but you do have features like paging, and most often in the busy environments like retail and restaurants and car dealerships, automotive dealerships, motorcycle dealerships, those types of environments, they're generally juggling a lot of phone calls, so they don't have a lot of time to focus on the extra features that may or may not be programmed on the buttons of the phones. So a lot of good target customer examples, and also including professional offices such as insurance offices and lawyers and doctors' offices. Next slide. So this is a good time to introduce ProCloud UC Hosted Square Key. So this gives you all of the familiar features of a legacy key system, plus the ability to have up to 8 line keys for lines 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8 if needed. Most customers in this typical application may need only 3, 4, or 5 lines, but we do give you the flexibility to add up to 8 line keys per phone. Obviously, you need a telephone such as a Polycom VVX 400 series that has enough keys to display all of those keys and represent the individual line keys on each one. We also have internal extensions, and those internal extensions can also be direct dialed. Paging and privacy are also features that you would come to expect in a traditional key system, but we've added in the UC system. Now here's the real bonus. So because this is based on hosted UC, every individual phone gets a direct dial extension. That means that the individual users of those phones can actually take a call or place a call on their own private line, and they can transfer those calls if they need to other phones. They could even transfer them to the key system group, lines 1 through 4 on those phones. Another benefit that you would never have the ability to have in an analog key system is an auto attendant. And we give you a separate telephone number for the auto attendant. That auto attendant can be front-end answering, where it answers all the calls and then routes the calls to either the key system group or to individual users, or it could also be an overflow. Many times the businesses that have these systems, they prefer to answer their telephones up front. They want to have that personal experience, and then in the event that those lines are full, then the calls could transfer over to the auto attendant. You could also have a call queue for applications like service departments and automotive dealerships that take a heavy call volume. Those calls can be queued up and put on hold in the system and then delivered to the individual agents as those agents become available. And then last, you also get a voice portal. That's a separate telephone number that lets the business owner or the manager call in and not only retrieve their voicemail messages if they're not utilizing the voicemail to email function. You do have the option to store those voicemails in the phone system. but you also have the ability to change the auto attendant greetings. So in the event that you have inclement weather or maybe a holiday closing and the manager forgot to change the voicemail greeting or the auto attendant greetings, they can do that remotely. You get all the features of traditional IP phones, such as desktop phones with HD voice, but you also get the mobility apps. That's huge. Small business owners can now take their calls natively on their mobile device, either through the LTE data network, Wi-Fi network, or actually through the PSTN of the cellular telephone network. So many ways for a reliable call connectivity there. We also have business continuity. I don't have that written on the slide here, but that's in the event that the customer's internet connection goes out. They do have the ability to automatically transfer those calls to individuals with cell phones that could take the calls for a temporary basis while the phone service might, or the internet service might be out at that customer. So you do have a way to be survivable. And of course you get things like HD voice and also video calling between individual users in the office, maybe the manager or maybe there's an assistant manager. Anytime that they want to have video calls, they can do that, and they can also be remote. So these phones can be anywhere. They don't have to be just at one location, something that a traditional key system never had the opportunity to do. Now, we give you 4 premium users in this setup, and those users get collaboration and screen sharing, as well as instant messaging and presence. And because this is all cloud-based, there is no key system unit on-prem. There's only the customer's over-the-top internet connection and then IP phones on the desktops. And the best part, there's no hardware, there's no maintenance contracts required. Next slide. This entire solution comes to you at one simple price point. For $137.95 per month, it includes all of the following, taxes not included. You get the 8-line hosted square key package. You don't have to use all 8 keys. Typically, we'd see a customer with lines 1, 2, 3, and 4, but in those customers that do have a high call volume, you could have up to 8 line keys on the phones, and you get 4 premium stations. Now, this system is all lumped in together, so it also includes the group paging license, so you can page the individual users. Jenny, you've got a call on line 2, and you simply do that from paging from one of the phones, and it'll page to all the phones in the system. You also get the auto attendant, the call queue, the voice portal, and long distance calling is included to the US and Canada in this application. Now, what happens when you want to add more phones? You have 2 options. If you have the need to have additional telephones that need to receive the paging, so you have to have an extension to receive the paging, you can simply add basic stations for an additional $23.95 per station, and those phones can have an additional, or that system can have an additional phone with an additional extension and direct dial DID assigned to those phones. You also, however, have the option for no cost other than the price of the phone. You can share the stations in the system. And so, for example, you may have extension 10. In extension 10, maybe it's shared with another phone that looks just like it with extension 10 plus lines 1, 2, 3, and 4. The only caveat there is only the primary phone can receive pages, but all of the phones can make pages. So all that for $137.95 per month. Next slide. So just to give you an idea of what this would look like, this is a Polycom VVX 411 phone. Excuse me. The private extension is extension 11 in this example, and we have 4 line keys. The last 4 digits of the phone number are 6012 in this case, and you would see those all on those program buttons. Next slide. So if that line is in use, another user has initiated that call on another phone, they're on line 1, you'd see line 1 in use on all of the phones that have these keys, and it's most often the best practice to have all the same phones. So all the phones look and feel the same throughout the customer's office environment. Next slide. The next case here, we have a Polycom VVX 311. This is a lower cost 6-line phone. In this case, that call that you saw on the red key a moment ago, that was actually in use on this phone, but it showed the availability across all the other phones. Next slide. Now, for cost-conscious customers who are smaller, they don't have the need for as many telephones, this would be a great example for a small retail environment or a fast food restaurant environment where they simply need to juggle calls on multiple phones, but they don't need the ability to call phone to phone, extension to extension. In this case, we have a package for $32.90 per month. That's it. That includes one standard station license, and that can be shared on up to 5 additional phones for a total of 6 phones. And in this example right here, this may be the manager's phone, and we have 4 line appearances. You could actually go all the way up to 6 there on this phone. And essentially, line 1 is the first key, line 2 is the second, the third, fourth, and so on. This does include the mobility apps, and the mobility apps would be one of those shared phones. So in this case, we might have 4 hard phones shared with the primary hard phone, and then the mobility app that would allow the business owner to place and receive calls away from the business all through a mobile app. And you also get, just like the earlier solution, you get an auto attendant, a call queue, voice portal, and long distance. So all calls can be shared on one extension, and they can be answered on any phone, held, and retrieved on any phone. And additional stations can be added as needed. So again, let's talk about that fast food restaurant application where you may have a cordless phone, such as a Yealink deck phone. You may have 2 desk phones that are both sharing the same extension, but the manager may need to not only share that extension, but also have another direct dial station. So for an additional $23.95, you could add a unique station to that environment that would be private to the manager. Okay. Next slide. And just to give you an idea of what that would look like, so on the top left there, you might see the manager's phone. Right below that, you see that there's 3 line keys in use. Those are all 3 held calls, and you can quickly see the caller ID associated with each line key. And then you also have an option on the remote phones, and you can make all the phones look like this if you'd like, where there's only 1 extension key, and the rest could be speed dial keys. And the way you access the other calls on hold is you simply hold down that line key for about a second, and that little menu pops up on the bottom right there, and it would allow you to select the caller ID of the caller that is holding. Those are the calls that are hold over on the phone on the left there, and you can do that all through 1 line key. So a very cost-effective solution for very small businesses that don't need extension to extension dialing, and they don't need paging. All right, Jenny, let's hand it back to you. Next slide.
Great, thank you, Parker. So we just wanted to let you all know that we do have an offer for both you and your end user customers to try ProCloud UC free for 30 days. It is a limited 30-day trial, but no credit card is needed. It gives you the functionality of the desktop and mobile apps with outbound calling only, and it's really effective to try within your own organization. It's based upon your email domain, and you can add users within that group within those 30 days. So all you have to do is head over to ProCloudForGrowth.com. In the upper right corner, there's a free ProCloud UC trial button. Click on that. You can read some more information about the trial, about the pricing, fill it out, and then you'll get some emails authenticating you and your users. We'll also get you connected with a member of our team, which leads us to the next slide. So ADTRAN is really here to help you grow. As mentioned, we are new to the agent community, new with Telarus, and we really have built out, I think, a pretty great field organization to help you. So on the next slide, I'll give you a quick overview of our Telarus support team map. Each region, and we have 4 regions, has both a dedicated BDM channel manager as well as a sales engineer. These guys are here to help you co-sell. We do not sell direct, and we're really there to provide you with that training and onboarding. We have a fabulous partner success team that really works on getting you up and running within our systems and our quote tools, and working, of course, with the folks in the Telarus offices. So this map is available in the Telarus back office under ADTRAN, and we would love to get engaged with you on some of these opportunities. If you'd like more information about our ProCloud UC offering, you can go to the next slide, please. We are having a deep dive on the hosted Square Key webinar on Friday, June 8th at 10 a.m. Central. You can register by going to our ProCloudForGrowth.com website, and under the About and Events, there's a link right there to register for that webinar. And then, of course, we will be at Partner Exchange. We are thrilled to be a sponsor and really look forward to getting to meet all of you. Those of you that we haven't had the opportunity to meet at the TICS yet, we'd love to set up a meeting with you. If you want to email procloud@adtran.com, we can get you set up with your BD or your SE that will be at the event. And we also are going to have a session on our cloud security offering, our next generation firewall offering. So hopefully those of you are able to come and learn more about that part. And then, of course, stop by our table and stop by to get some free swag. So we'd love to see you there. And I think that we do have some questions at this time. So I think we are going to be running the Q&A. Is that correct, Steph?
Yeah, Jenny,
we are going to take some questions from our partners. Parker Smith and Jenny Detman from ADTRAN, terrific presentation. This is just a tremendous suite of products. The ProCloud UC offering is what we've been talking about today, and both Parker and Jenny have provided tremendous information, not only about the product set itself, but the available resources, training, and upcoming opportunities that our partners will have to learn more about this. We do have some questions that have come in from our partners we'll take a look at here, and a few of those have already been addressed on the chat line, but let's talk about those here on the line so that everybody can see and hear about that. The phones seem to be always of interest to partners. It's certainly of interest to their clients whenever they talk about the hardware that is available. Parker, you talked a little bit about the different phone types that were being used in your examples. Jenny and Parker are here to talk with your questions. Matt Peckinpah, one of our partners, asked whether Polycom phones are the only ones offered, or what other phones are made available and which are certified compatible with this type of system.
Sure. Thank you. We have just added Polycom and Yealink to our offering. Those are available to be ordered through our portfolio. We also support Panasonic phones. There's many more that we support that we don't necessarily sell through our platform, but those particular phones I mentioned, we do offer through our platform. And there was another question about overhead paging. That would be a big deal. Is there integrated support for this option? Well, of course, you get the option to page through the speakers of the phones that are not being used when a page comes through. We are in the process, and this is a process in conjunction with BroadSoft, of certifying the analog paging adapters from CyberData, and more to come afterwards.
Another question that just came in asking about whether any of the phone models support Wi-Fi or cordless phones for this type of service.
Good question. At the moment, we only have decked phones that are available. These are phones that are essentially approved and certified with the BroadSoft ProCloud service offering. Today, I don't recall any of those phones are Wi-Fi enabled, but we do have several options for decked, including the Polycom decked phone that is an add-on to, say, a VVX 300, 400, or 500, or 600 phone. And then we have the Yealink model, the W60P model. The 56P is also supported, and those are decked-based phones, not Wi-Fi. You can add decked repeaters to that, but it does get them off of the Wi-Fi, and it's typically a lower-cost phone. And of course, I just see another question came in about bring your own device. You absolutely are welcome to bring your own device of phones available. We do have a certified list of phones, and we do provide instructions on how to point those phones to the ProCloud UC service, and that will flash the phones and then essentially allow them to be programmed in the admin panel. And how do we support?
Just add one more question onto that about support as well.
I'm watching those come through there. Yeah, so good question. We also offer a 24/7 support. The 24/7 piece is an on-call support agent after 7 p.m. Central Time, so 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. It essentially covers all U.S. time zones. And if you need the option for next business day replacement, we don't currently have that available yet with our phone provider, but we will have that option available soon. So today there is, again, a telephone number. You can call 256-963-7000, and that will get you to the support for all of the ProCloud services that we offer, such as ProCloud UC and other products that we offer in the portfolio. And then stay tuned on next business day replacements.
Great information. You know, I think a lot of our partners are like me. I go into all sorts of different businesses, retail outlets, whatever it might be. And because of what I do for a living, I'm always checking out what sort of equipment they have, what type of phone systems are there, how they process their inbound and outbound communications, and just how they manage data. I'm interested in it. Sometimes I'll ask questions about it if I see something really cool. I think a lot of our partners are the same way. What I love about this is that you mentioned that depending on the type of environment involved, whether it's a retail environment or a busy office setting, such as attorneys' offices, that sort of thing, people are very comfortable with handsets, with desktop phones. I use one myself, not only for the Tuesday call, but it's something I'm comfortable with. But so many of our partners' clients, so many of our own employees here have moved away from the desktop hardware, and they're using the desktop apps, the tablets,
That's right.
mobile applications. And what's great about this product is that it is compatible with all of those and includes those applications and features in these very well-priced ProCloud UC offerings. Talk just a little bit more about why that flexibility is so important.
Well, that's a good point. The fact that our soft phone is more than just it's not an off-the-shelf soft phone. It's an integrated product that is branded ProCloud UC. It is natively tied into the system, so your presence information, if you're on the call on your mobile device, you see that if you have a busy lamp field on the desktop phone representing that, other users will see that status just like you're on your desk phone. And if you want to move a call from desk phone to mobile phone, you can simply do that by hitting the pull call button, which essentially dials a star code that will immediately transfer that call without any ring back. The far end user never hears that happen. But again, we do have so many customers now that are, in lieu of the desk phone, moving just to a mobile environment. And because we are Call Kit integrated on the Apple devices, we actually present the native dialer interface. So if you get a call waiting beep, maybe from a call on your cell phone, while you're on a call through the ProCloud UC service, you can actually put that call on hold. You can treat it like a call waiting call and simply toggle between the calls, just as if the calls are coming in through your cell phone interface. Very well integrated, feature rich. The only thing that you cannot do in the mobile environment today is have the multiple line appearances, whereas you can do that on the desk phone. So if you're taking a call that's in the group, you can take a call from the group, but you don't have the individual lines 1, 2, 3, and 4 buttons on that mobile device. So it's not designed to be a key system type device on the mobile only. You really need the desktop to support that application. There was one other question that came in right behind us there on if someone brought a BYOD device, could they call in to swap a phone? Yes, absolutely. You can call our tech support number and they will walk you through. You can provide them the MAC address of the phone, and they will even provide you the documentation via email and tell you how to program that phone to switch it over very quickly.
Thank you. Jenny, I want to bring you back in here. We had a couple of additional questions that came in on the Q&A portion of our window, and I wanted to give you a minute to address a few of those.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say Parker probably is best to answer some of these questions. But Parker, in addition to Polycom and Yealink, I think you addressed the other question, the other phones that are available. There is a question around. I noticed that Telarus is now running RingCentral. It has a Slack-like client GLIP. Does ADTRAN have something similar? So I don't know if you want to talk about the ProCloud communicator and how that works.
Yeah, and Jenny, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part. What was the question?
Oh, they were saying that Telarus is currently running RingCentral but has a Slack-like client called GLIP. Does ADTRAN ProCloud UC have something similar to that?
Well, good question. We have had a solution like that. That was a product from BroadSoft called Team One. That product, unfortunately, the take rate on it was not very high, and BroadSoft has elected to sunset that particular product. However, we do have the full chat functionality that does retain history. It does allow you to transfer files to and from the users. It is not the Slack-like environment. So we still have a lot of customers who are actually using Slack, and they're using the free version of Slack. So there's absolutely nothing wrong for that. It's just not a totally integrated solution into our offering. I do see one other question came in about, this is a technical question about disabling the SIP ALG from a requirements from another service provider, and they had to basically disable that SIP ALG in the customer's firewall. They're concerned about the customer not having the protection of the carrier's firewall. You certainly should have the firewall on. One unique benefit of our service, it does not use the standard SIP ports of UDP 5060. And therefore, we often are not blocked if the firewall is blocking those calls. And we do have a SIP-aware SBC in the cloud that is properly able to map the RTP streams with that call flow data. And we have not yet had a problem where the calls were blocked or that we had to worry about the SIP ALG. You're free to leave the SIP ALG on or turn it off either way. That does not expose your firewall information at all. As long as the firewall's still on, you're in good shape. But we will totally work with and without that SIP ALG.
Huge selling point. And you mentioned earlier, and this wasn't lost on me, and I think we need to re-emphasize it. You know, there's a lot of BroadSoft utilization out there. It's a tremendously popular platform. But with the ProCloud UC offering, you make available all of the BroadSoft features. It is not a limited type of BroadSoft offering at all. And so
That's right.
Everything that they make available is available in this ProCloud UC offering.
That's right. That's right. We've even had some other BroadSoft providers who have not implemented the UC1 portfolio for BroadSoft, contacting us to see if they could offer just the UC1 component. We don't really have that available for other service providers, but that is, I think, the biggest benefit of our solution. And we often get asked, oh, there's so many providers out there that are running BroadSoft. What makes you different? It's the fact that we have every single feature that is offered from BroadSoft. And primarily, it's the features that come out of the UC1 portfolio that we call ProCloud UC. And that does include the screen sharing, the virtual room, the instant messaging and presence. And of course, you get all the UC features such as HD voice and video, and that's on any device, whether it be a desk phone or a mobile phone, and it is integrated natively.
So everything that people are familiar with and know and love, and plus all of the new and additional and high-tech features that people would need for all sorts of different
that functionality. So that is huge. Our data centers are redundant. There are 2 redundant data centers that are hosted in Equinix data centers across the U.S. One's in Dallas and one's in Chicago. And those are primarily redundant systems, meaning that one is a simple backup of the other. And in the event that, let's say, the Dallas connection is not available over the top, over the internet, maybe a DNS issue, whatever it may be, those calls through DNS will automatically route over to the alternate data center, and the customer never sees the hiccup in service there.
Good question from Dale that just came in too, asking about bandwidth requirements. Generally speaking, what should clients be looking at in terms of bandwidth requirements as they consider the number of active calls that they might be initiating and receiving?
Good question. Yep, good question. We primarily our calls to the PSTN are using the G729 codec, which is a reduced bandwidth codec. That's an 8 kilobit codec with overhead. It's about 30K of traffic per telephone call. For that reason, you don't need a lot of bandwidth going out to the PSTN. If you do have remote users, however, that are on the system but at remote locations and they are communicating over your broadband internet connection, those calls will be in G722, and it will, of course, we support G711 as well. But G722 is the wideband codec. It gives you twice the audible clarity. The acoustic range is double of what it would be in a G711 call. It's still a 64K codec. So with overhead, it's approximately 80 kilobits of traffic per call. So you might need to take that into account. But you can get away with a fairly small amount of bandwidth. We do have a tool that's available to us called Examine It, and that is a tool that can be emailed out to the customer site. They can run that remotely, and that will give us an idea of the MOS score and the mean opinion score, the quality of the service based on jitter, delay, lost and out of order packets, including bandwidth. And that'll tell us right up front if a customer is going to be successful using the service or not, and whether or not they should contact Telarus to go out and get a better bandwidth connection.
Great answer to that question. So much going on with ADTRAN. As you mentioned, you're a little bit newer to Telarus, but boy, this has really taken off, and there is so much more to ADTRAN than I think most people have known. And what you have presented today certainly gives a lot of food for thought to our partners as they consider their clients and their needs. We're very appreciative that not only are you on our Tuesday call today, but you're, as you mentioned, a sponsor at our upcoming partner exchange. Looking forward to having you meet with our partners there. And tremendous training and information available at the website you'd mentioned, ProCloud, 4 growth.com, where partners can find out more about ADTRAN and these available offerings and the types of training that are available. Last question, what are the best questions the partners should be using as they approach their clients to initiate a conversation about ADTRAN?
That's a good question. Well, first off, they probably need to determine what type of customer they're talking to, whether it's a retail environment, doctor's office, those types of customers. What type of call volume are they taking? How do they use their system today? That's the #1 thing to think about. So often, many UC service providers have tried to shoehorn a hosted UC PBX application into these customers that have primarily been using key system environments. Those customers were used to using line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and if you walk into that customer and try to teach them, I'm sure all of you can resonate with this statement. If you try to teach those customers how to park, transfer, and retrieve calls, they will be calling you a week later, pulling their hair out, and it usually does not end well. So that's the first thing, is figure out how they're using the system, how many users they have, and that will quickly allow you to determine whether or not it's a hosted key system application, the simple shared line application, or a full-blown UC application.
Excellent comment. Jenny, I want to give you the last word. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think, thank you, Parker, for always being the technical resource here to answer almost any and every question that someone can throw out there. He's a wonderful asset to our team, and we're thrilled to have him available to answer these questions and to be part of the Telarus community. So one thing that ADTRAN is known for are our people and our service. And so I really want to invite you to come in and meet us and get to know more about what we have to offer and how we can help you grow your business. So thank you so much for this time, and we look forward to seeing everybody in Boca.
Wonderful. Thank you. Parker Smith, Jenny Detman from ADTRAN, thank you both for being here today. That will about do it for today's event. Our thanks to each of you as well for your attendance and participation on our weekly call. We hope to see you this Thursday at one of our Star Wars events, Solo, the next Star Wars story. I can't wait for this. This is going to be amazing. I'm geeking out all over the place. We are back next week with more information to build your business. Till then, I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus. Have a great selling week, everyone.